I'm non-zero sum James, your companion on this exploration of win-win games. Emergence is beautiful. At the beginning of this series, Steven Pinker suggests that we find emergent phenomena beautiful because we recognise in them the process we have to thank for our very existence. In Pinker's own way, he is making a secular appeal to seeing the hand of our Creator, the principle of emergence, in the world around us. Why do we find things beautiful? There are many practical reasons we find things beautiful. Vibrant, ripe fruits tell us that there are calories to be had, and those saturated colours evoke strong feelings if they are emblazoned on an insect's back, or seen pouring from a person's lacerated torso. Creativity too has its own utility. Those with a propensity to whittle away will find themselves better equipped to create weapons. Visual artists can employ their skills to create cave paintings, conveying stories about threats, food sources, or passing down hard-won lessons from their ancestors. Recognizing patterns in nature helps us make accurate predictions. To understand that a river flows because rivers are an emergent property of water and gravity tells us that this river comes from somewhere elevated and likely flows to a large body of water, and this helps us to make informed decisions. This evolutionary sensitivity to patterns could well explain why emergence, which produces patterns, often in a revelatory way, is so satisfying to our senses. Ferns, snowflakes, Romanesco broccoli all exhibit self-similar detail at different scales. They follow a rule out of which infinite complexity arises. In fact, mathematically, a fractal actually exists between dimensions. The Mandelbrot set's border, for instance, lies somewhere between 1 and 2 dimensions, due to its infinite complexity. As with observing other emergent phenomena, there is something transcendent that I, at least, find when observing a fractal. A sense of being able to grasp the pattern, but not the infinity it tends towards. In this way, nature and even digital fractals contain that je ne sais quoi that we appreciate in a great artwork, musical composition, or an enigmatic facial expression on the face of an actor, the sort of beauty that speaks to something innate and irreducible. The same goes for lifelike behaviours. After creating the Graviton simulation, I discovered Ventrella, another artist exploring emergent phenomena through computer simulations. But he's been developing these ideas for decades and has a wealth of fascinating projects. I encourage you to check out his clusters simulation, linked in the post itself. To the larger question though, do beauty, love, the numinous have any meaning in a world ruled by entropy, driving us towards universal demise? Well, that depends on what meaning is. In episode 11, It's Subjective, I have made a case that the fact that meaning and value are dependent on subjective experience doesn't diminish them in any way or make them arbitrary. In fact, subjective experience is what gives meaning and value their quality and significance. The relevance of our present experience to meaning is best expressed by the great philosopher Buddy from the movie Free Guy, when confronted with the possibility that he's living in a simulation.
I say, okay, so what if I'm not real?
I'm sorry. So what?
Yeah, so what?
But if you're not real, doesn't that mean that nothing you do matters?
What does that mean? Look, brother, I am sitting here with my best friend trying to help him get through a tough time, right? And even if I'm not real, this moment is. Right here, right now. This moment is real. I mean, what's more real than a person trying to help someone they love? Now, if that's not real, I don't know what is.
Neuroscientist Sam Harris makes the point that our experience is always now. Even our plans for the future are forecast for a future you who will experience them in the present. Meaning beauty and value are all right here in our conscious experience. What matters is consciousness and its contents. Consciousness is everything. So the end point might not be relevant. The present moment is everything. Zombie gods. To bring this into high relief, imagine a future where we bequeath our world to an intellectually superior artificial intelligence that has no conscious experience. This robot race has ultimate and instrumental goals that lead it to continue activity perpetually, but it has no quality of experience. There is nothing it is like to be this AI. What value could there be in such a universe? There is something chilling in this picture, is there not? Because we acknowledge that any significant meaning takes place in conscious experience. But does that conscious experience need to be experiencing something designed for them? Do they need to be receiving a message from someone? I don't think so. Robert Wright is wrong. This series has been written while I've been reading Robert Wright's Non-Zero, which makes the case for emergence in the form of ever-increasing non-zero sumness. He has really helped inform my reasoning throughout, and yet we come to different conclusions. In the controversial final chapters of Non-Zero, Wright wants to make the case that it's not crazy to imagine that the arrow of progress entailed in a principle of universal emergence suggests ultimate purpose, teleology, and perhaps even design. To me, it suggests the opposite. If we look back to our evolutionary purpose, it is to act as a replicator for our genes, not exactly a noble or profound vocation. It stands to reason that the further back we go, in terms of our cosmic purpose, dictated by the universe itself, we are likely to find an even more mundane and uninteresting goal, one we've explored as a dissipative structure, the imperative to increase entropy. If emergence is about going from simple and random to the complex and ordered, then as we look back, we will find simple beginnings, simple rules, not the sort of purpose we might think of as conceived by a mind. Reason. Wright makes the same incorrect, as I see it, inference as the robot QT1 makes in Isaac Asimov's short story Reason. You see, QT continued calmly, before you can make me believe that humans made me, or indeed anything at all, you must help me understand why it is reasonable to believe that something less complicated, something less efficient, something less capable could create something that is more complicated, more efficient, and more capable than itself. It does not follow the laws of logic. To me, the only logical conclusion is that I was created by something far superior to humans, the Master. QT argues that he could not have been made by humans because he is more capable. Ironically, QT's reasoning is flawed. The principle of emergence holds that simple phenomena give rise to more complex phenomena all the time, throughout cosmic history. I argue this point because I think many hold an assumption that without a preordained purpose, coming in the form of a universal dictate, there is no way to find meaning in the world. But this has the idea of meaning exactly backwards. Meaning is itself emergent. It increases alongside complexity. If the universe is analogous to a mind, we are not the implementation of a preconceived idea. We are the idea itself being conceived.